Hello everybody, welcome back. So I'll just try and make this video as quick as possible. So before I start, just to let you know I'm not a financial advisor, it's not financial advice. We'll move on to look at some of these coins. So just before we have a look and see what's going on, I just want to point out that Bitcoin dominance is ever so slightly beginning to retrace. It's 68.4% at the moment. We'll have a quick look at this area here, so we'll just move on to the monthly, and we'll have a look at how it actually looks in general. So this is I mean, it's been a lot lower than this, but so have altcoins. If you follow this chart, and I like to follow this chart because it's the best thing I've got access to at the moment, you can see that it's just going down again. This line at the top here, you can see, is our pretty much our all-time high. We'll call it 70%, and we're failing to break above there. We're getting rejected every single time. You can look at this like a chart, like you would on TradingView, and it kind of makes sense. So yeah, we're being rejected at that 70%, or getting close to the 70% every time. And on this occasion, we've been rejected. It looks as though the alts are beginning to pick up. You can see how the others, that's a combination of all of the coins, are now at 14%. And generally speaking, you know, this is kind of where they've been, 13, 14, and generally lower, and 15 at this area. But what I would say is, if we can retrace to if possible, if the dominance chart could retrace to around about 66 or lower, that would spark a definite strong alt season. So we'll move on to Bitcoin, and we'll try and keep it brief. So yesterday our daily candle closed, and it closed quite high, which actually was a good sign for it. Actually, it's a pretty positive thing for it to close in that area, but it couldn't break above this area here, which is the green 50 EMA. Okay, we've been rejected essentially from that area. Couldn't break above and get towards the actual true area of a support, of a resistance box here, which is anywhere between 10,600 to 10,800. We couldn't get there, and as soon as the candle closed, almost as soon as it closed really, we've come straight back down again, and back down to that 10,000 area. Now the 10,000 to 9,800 area is somewhere that we've been wanting to break down from, and I've been pretty much waiting for this one to break down since we broke down from this area. Where was it? Here, of 11,200. Once that area was taken out, my target has been this area of 9,200 to 9,000, and then if it obviously breaks down from there, we can start to talk about what's likely to happen as a result of that and where it might go. But for the moment, that is my target, and that's where I think the target for me would stop. But this blue box territory has been very strong every single time it's been tested. We tested it once and went to the bottom of it here on this wick here, and that same wick here all the way down to the bottom, which is, we'll call it 9,800 thereabouts. So we've tested it twice. I think with this one here, if not today, tomorrow or the next few days, is likely to test that bottom area again. And if it does break, and if this area does break, it's 9,600 as a temporary pit stop before we come back down to this area. What I would say is that we're looking at the MACD at the moment, and even though indicators look like it wants to go down for the short term, we do have a higher high on the histogram, which might suggest a little bit of divergence maybe to the up, which would, to me, think that we might get a wick down to the bottom here and we might break it. But if we do break it, we probably won't be down here for too long. But when it picks up momentum again, is it going to rocket up? Probably not. It's probably going to snake its way back up. It might do a $1,000 move, to be honest with you, but a $1,000 move from 9,200 or 9,000 is pretty much where we are now, and we might be rejected from there, because you can see how this 10,000 area is pretty significant for Bitcoin. So if we break beneath it, to me there's no reason why it wouldn't turn into resistance, even if it's just a temporary one. So we'll move on to Matic now then. So Matic was doing pretty well for itself. You all know that I love Matic, and most of my followers do. So we had this huge move off the back of the Coinbase announcement. We had this uptrend that we seemed to be bouncing from, climbing up, which was great, and then it looked like we wanted to have a breakout as we were getting crushed into this area here, which was between the support and the resistance, and we broke up, and we tested just the very top of the blue box button, and just reared our little head about over it at 172 satoshis, and then we just couldn't take it anymore, and it actually came climbing back down again. Now that wasn't what I expected. I did expect a breakout here, but I thought that if we could get above the blue box, then we would start to make new highs. Unfortunately, we didn't. We actually didn't even peak the high of here of 177 satoshis. So that area there, I would say 175 satoshis is we're just going to have to extend this blue box to that area really, because that area is the strongest area of resistance for Matic, clearly. So we broke back down, and we've broken back down quite severely overnight, but so is the rest of the market. So it's following the trend of the market. Now what I would say here is that the indicators are looking for a downward movement, even if it's just temporary today. We have found resistance on this white 200 EMA, which is something that Matic has continuously done when been above it in sort of bad times. So when we were consolidating here, we came back down to it, and we rested on it here before we broke down. And this is a 4-hourly chart, and this was a bearish time for Matic, and we did stay on that area for a while. And again, when we broke above it here, we've managed to stay above it, and I would expect that should hold relatively well. That's 140 satoshis currently, and it probably will be for a while, as it's going a little sideways at the moment. If that does break down, it's not the biggest thing in the world, because we do have another relatively strong area here of 130 satoshis. That's where this 200 simple is, and we can correlate that exactly to the way that it looks here when we look at the tether values. We go back in time, we can see bearish times, we stayed above it, and that was fine. We came down to test it on this occasion, bounced right up from it. We did break down from it here, but when we stayed above it, we launched above it, so it does mean something to us when we get above that white 200 EMA. But unfortunately, when we go below it, if we stay below it for a prolonged period of time, it's not good. On this occasion, when we came down below it, this is the state of a lot of the altcoins as well at the moment. We had a death cross here, and obviously all the altcoins have this cross and have this setup. So the good thing that we've got now is that area reversed with a golden cross here, so we're still holding on to that. So this should still be a decent support for us here, pretty much where we are exactly right now, 1.47 it is right now, 1.47 cent. And if that breaks down, then we've got this guy here at our next layer of support, which is 1.35 cent. Okay, and if that breaks down, which there's always a possibility that it will break down, we've got 1.2 cent, and then if that breaks down, then we are really back to where we were. But we're still holding on to the fact that this Bitcoin dominance chart is hopefully going to retrace. We'll just quickly refresh to see if anything amazing has happened while we've been speaking. I very much doubt that it has. Still 68.4%, and that's where I expect it to stay. 68.75, so it's actually gone up a little bit. Let's not worry so much about this for the moment. 68.39. I do expect it to come down. Okay, it might not be today, but those who are calling for an alt season, you could be onto something. I've got certain coins that I've begun to put long entries on, and that's not even with sort of trading on an exchange. That's margin trading, and I don't generally do that, but I like the setup that a lot of these have got going. So I'm kind of calling for an alt season right now. It might not be an alt season like the ones we had previously. It might be short-lived, but it doesn't really matter. An alt season, and we're looking for perhaps maybe 10 to 20, maybe more % gains on most of the major alts. And I've got longs now on Ethereum, EOS, Tron, and even XRP. So I've got a lot riding on it at the moment. And I just thought I'd make a video to let you know that there is a bit of light at the end of the tunnel, provided Bitcoin doesn't make a big move up. And the way that it seems set up right now, there's nothing to suggest that it's going to make a larger move than the move it made yesterday. It's more likely to be going down. And again, when it goes down, altcoins will be brought down with it, but again, with the dominance chart will be brought down too. And the nature of an alt season and the way that alts move when dominance is down is a lot more aggressive than Bitcoin makes. It might be short-lived, but the moves to the up will be a lot more aggressive. So if you're holding on to positions now and don't want to sell, like I've got positions on Matic, for instance, and a few others, and I'm unwilling to sell them at the moment in the hope that these coins are going to begin to move pretty strong, and it might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, but it could be any time really from today over the next 2 weeks. So I'm just going to hold on to these guys and see where we go. This area just today suggests that we still want to go down. The correction's not yet played out, but But this chart in general looks okay to me. It's consolidating from this move, but it's still building up accumulation area, and we still have a golden cross. We probably have golden crosses, actually, looking at Matic now. We probably have golden crosses on longer time frames. We do, actually, yeah. So we have a look here. We've got the green exponential, the 50 crossing the white on the 6 hourly. It's actually pretty good, actually. Yeah, it's a pretty good setup. Let's just have a look. If there probably won't be anything yet on the 12 hourly, no. But if this move plays out like the way I think it's going to do, you know, we're going to have more golden crosses on higher time frames. So we'll just have a quick look on the daily, see what the indicators look like. Actually, it still looks quite bullish when you look at it on the daily. So long term, I'm still looking for bigger moves on this guy, and we'll see how this one plays out. Anyway, thanks for watching. I know that was a bit rambly, and I hope you have a nice weekend. Take it easy, and yeah, have a nice day.